Welcome to my Hause. Welcome to Kristena West Art and Healing. This week is a special vlog on staying connected with our ancestors. This is the time of ancient festivals of Samhain, Halloween, Day of the Dead, November 2nd, All Souls Day. And as the entire world knows, it's the time of the thinning of the veils, where the invisible veil between the worlds is even thinner, and many people feel touched through dreams, signals, the presence of their loved ones over the threshold in the realm of the dead. The dead are always with us. They are alive in non-ordinary reality, and the dead are in eternity across time and space into another dimension, which in the millions of cases of near-death experiences, it's a proven fact now that there is another realm that is filled with our loved ones who are always, always helping us. And that's what this vlog is about this week. This vlog is about experiences that I've had, and also in my groups and working with private clients, of the experiences that being touched on the shoulder by their loved ones, bringing cautionary tales, prompts, warnings, and gifts. So thank you so much for being here. Let's dive in. Welcome to the end of October. It's moving into our time of Halloween, where the veil between the worlds gets thinner and spirits become visible. It's spook time. This is the time of the year when so many of us have the feeling that the veil between the worlds is getting thinner, thinner and thinner. And many times we have experiences during this time of year of our beloved ancestors across the threshold who come and visit us at night in our dreams. Speaking of which, I want to thank you for all the people signing up for my esoteric dream class. It must be the time of year, and it's a wonderful opportunity to either restart your dream work or begin a dream practice, because every night we go to sleep and dream. So what better opportunity than to start now? So this week I got questions about what does Halloween mean? Halloween derives from an ancient festival called Samhain. It's spelled Samhain, and it's pronounced Samhain. Samhain is an ancient Gaelic festival, Ireland, Scotland, the Isle of Man, marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the darker half of the year, winter. It was traditionally celebrated from the evening of October 31st into November 1st in the Northern Hemisphere. So it's also the liminal time, the time between the worlds, where the veil between the worlds gets thin. It's a threshold moment when the boundary between the living world and the other world, the spirits of the dead, ancestors, is more available. It's a very propitious time of year to do inner work. Ooh. So Samhain is a magical time of year. It's one of my most favorite time of years because it has deep connections to the mystery wisdom traditions, to esoteric work, to fairy tales, to the heroine or hero's journey. It is the time of year when we can hear the call from the other side. Samhain embodies death, letting go, rebirth, and new beginnings. It really is the time of year that we look back in retrospect over what we have accomplished this year, and perhaps look at some of the behaviors, ideas, initiatives that we were planting seeds for that maybe we realize, oh, there's something else other than that, and I can let go of that while something new comes in. So this is the time of year from St. John's Day, which is he must increase and I must decrease. So this is the time of decrease. So lighting bonfires on hilltops or communal fires and bringing the fire home, relighting the hearths is an ancient festival and one that has deep meaning. These are the healing rituals that we can do within our house. And if we don't have a fireplace, we can have candles around our altar and we light our candle at night. And we can have pictures of our ancestors who help us and accompany us. So let's step into Samhain together, the time of letting go. And what would you like to let go of now in your life, right now? What is it that comes to your mind? Oh gosh, I would love to drop this. This has been such a burden to me. It's such a weight on me, and I would love to let that go now. So, as a woman in whatever country you're in America or Canada or Germany or New Zealand, how would you create a ritual for yourself that has deep meaning, that isn't just going through steps? I'm going to write something on a piece of paper and throw it in the fire. I'm sorry, but that's sort of meaningless. You want to create what witches call the cone of power, the cone of power. And that's how you build your energy. And that's why we see drumming and dancing cross-culturally all over the world, that we want to drum and dance and create energy, create energy, create energy. Hold that vision of what you want to let go of. Hold that vision of what you want to let go of. And then whatever your ritual is, you do the ritual with the intent at that moment to push out what you want to let go of. So in my groups, we would be working on a core wound for many months, the men and women's groups, and then we would create a ritual to work. When we were together for our 4-day retreat, we would do the ritual of letting go, whatever that ritual was that had to do with their core wound and what they were working on, what they chose to work on for that year. And this was tremendous. People had tremendous transformations, inner transformations, and their outer world shifted because when you have a group of people holding your space without judgment, with love, and with deep attention, this is what happens within a group, in person, letting go of something. So that's something that you can do if you have a women's group or if you have a men's group. You can think about doing a ritual for yourself. But personal rituals are extremely powerful and very benevolent for our life. I've been doing personal rituals my entire life, and they ground me, and they're like, when a writer is writing their chapters and they've got a wall and they take this chapter and they put it over there and they thumbtack it here and they thumbtack it here so their whole wall has got different chapters because they realize that their narrative, they want to shift it. Well, we have our lives that we want to shift too, right? And we can shift the pages and chapters of our life as well, especially when we have a more awake and aware consciousness, that we're aware of how the threads of our destiny are coming along. And Dreamwork, of course, is the perfect practice to wake up to what the other world is trying to tell us. So Esoteric Dreamwork is up because I always list it at this time. And my father passed in October, and this is a very special time for me because my father taught me esoteric dream work from the Western mystery traditions. And you can see my short 11-minute video, which is on KristinaWestArt.com, as the offering for this month. And that is, as always, it's a sliding scale. So that's a wonderful new adventure for you to practice every night when you go to sleep. I teach the 3-day rhythm, which is a Rosicrucian rhythm. And also it's I would say, part of the shamanic tradition because most indigenous people from all over the world were clairvoyant, especially in our early times, and they could see we had the three bodies, the physical body, the etheric or life body, our astral body, and our eye. So that 3-day rhythm is those three bodies. You're asking a question of your ancestor when you go to bed at night. And one night, two nights, three nights, and day three, you'll get the answer. And I teach that in the esoteric dream class. The module one is the first part is a comprehensive, all kinds of dreaming, lucid dreaming, precognitive dreaming, what is a dream practice, how you do it, what's the benefit. And module two is working with your ancestors. So it's a 2-for-1. It's a twofer. Okay, gosh, don't you just love that backdrop? I love finding Zoom backdrops for my vlogs. So the questions that I've been getting are about spiritual experiences. People are very, very curious because they're beginning to find out with my beginning vlog on YouTube that I've been teaching since the early 90s in my private practice. And much of the work is formatted around listening to my clients and their weird experiences. And weird is code for spiritual. Our spiritual experiences or weird experiences or creepy experiences or feel like we're being touched. Oh, what was that? Oh, and when I was trained by Michael Harner in the Foundation of Shamanic Studies in the 3-year advanced shamanic training, and I studied with the foundation for many, many years. Michael talked about what is the nature of power. And we all have our ideas immediately pop into our mind of what is power. And power isn't what you think it is. In America, especially, we consider power to be money, like money is somehow equates to power, but it has nothing to do with power. It's a it's a commodity. It's a paper thing that means nothing. And we can see the lack of character development that many billionaires have has nothing to do with power. So what shamans and saints and masters and healers and therapists equate with power is inner character development, which is called inner work. And that is where power lies. Are you a good witch or are you a bad witch?
No, I know we're not in Kansas.
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Who, me? I'm not a witch at all.
But I'm not any witch at all. So that really is the question in The Wizard of Oz, which is a fundamental question to the human being. Are you a good human being or are you a bad human being? And Dorothy's question is the answer to many people who don't know who they are. I'm not a witch. I'm just a girl who landed from Kansas, right? But over the mystery centers all over the world was inscribed, O human being, know thyself. And that doesn't mean brooding on yourself, as Rudolf Steiner says. It means fructifying yourself, creating in your character, in your habits, in your mental life, in your heart life, in your will life, strength and goodness and character to become the hero. And I mean that literally, to become the hero or heroine in your life, to build yourself up from the inside out. And that is the path of inner development, the initiation path, the path of initiation. And initiation means to start now. So this would be a good time to let go of the burdens that you're carrying that you're ready to let go of, and to look forward to a new path that is coming to you. The future is always coming. Rudolf Steiner said that from 1933 onwards, that people were going to be coming to Earth with a new clairvoyant ability. And the new clairvoyant ability was a natural clairvoyance. It wasn't atavistic, meaning it comes in the blood and it's from your people. It is a new clairvoyance, a way of perception. And he said that the reason anthroposophy came into the world was to allay the fears of people who think they're crazy. And if you've listened to my vlogs, I'm always seeding those vlogs with stories of people who are having weird experiences, which are in Steiner's terminology called etheric visions. And we have the physical body, the life body is our etheric body. And it's this ether body that is gaining new capacities and will be gaining new capacities over the next few thousand years. There's all kinds of books I could point you to, but if you want to have a fabulous starter book, other than How to Know Higher Worlds by Rudolf Steiner, would be Larry Dossey's book on precognition, because precognition, in Rudolf Steiner's terms, equates to etheric vision. And I'm a precognitive dreamer, and I'm not just a dreamer, I'm precognitive. So since I was 28, I had a big spiritual experience, and since that time, I have glimpses of the future. And it is very much like living in the Matrix. It is not personal. Doesn't mean I'm special. It doesn't mean I'm a chosen one. Are you the one in the Matrix? We are all the one. All of us are waking up to this. I cannot sit in a class or teach a client and they don't tell me a weird experience, which is an etheric experience, seeing glimpses of the future, or they see what did one gal, she said, oh, I'm not gonna, I don't have anything like that, Kristena. And then, a week later in the dream class, she said, I can't believe it. She said, this morning I woke up and I saw this sign. I didn't know what it meant. And I was on the way to work and I went to this office and I looked down, and there on the piece of paper was exactly that little symbol, which I didn't know what it was. Now, stop here. This is where we can go off the rails and go into fantasy, thinking we're chosen, the sign means something, we've got to do something with it. It's like, oh my God, has great meaning. Oh, I've got to change my life and do whatever that signal sign symbol was. So I'm telling you, because I did it, you let that go. It's not personal. Our visions or glimpses of the future as a precognitive are not personal. It's not a directive. It's just what's going to happen. It's what is. So trust me, I am in my later years and I've had glimpses of the future every morning when I wake up really fast, typically in a backwards reel, the B roll, backwards reel. And I go to the library and I see somebody. Oh, that person was in my B-roll this morning, my backwards reel. Or I pick a Netflix video, right? And it's really weird or supernatural, and bingo, I go, oh, there's that face I saw. Or have a friend call, or. Now, if you have just a normal day like that, it's not a big deal. But say you're the head of a company and you get a warning. So I thought I'd share one of the dreams I had when I was the the shaman in Santa Barbara, and I was seeing clients all the time and running the groups. I was seeing a gal privately. One of the women in my women's spirit class called me up and wanted to have a private session. She wanted to go a little deeper into what was arising for her within the group context, because it was deep inner work. And so we made an appointment, I'll say, for Thursday. So, of course, as a shamanic practitioner, as a therapist, As a life coach, you're holding them. You're holding them emotionally. They're in your field. You're holding what is coming. And as a precognitive, the future is always coming. So I had a dream of her, very specific. And I have, this is actually in my book, Alchemy, The Magical Arts of the Union of Soul. I have permission to share this dream. I'll name her Karen. I saw Karen in a car with her head against the steering wheel, and she was unconscious. There was a lot of dishevelment. It looked like a car accident. The dread and the impact of what I was seeing, the reality of what I was seeing shook me up, which is what nightmares are supposed to do. When we had the appointment, I told her that I'd had a dream about her and I asked permission. I had a dream about her and I asked permission to share the dream. And she said, of course. And I told her the dream, the whole sequence. There's more to it than what I just shared. And she just sort of went ghastly white. She just sort of sat back in the chair and went, oh my God. She said, Kristena, I just booked a ticket to fly to Europe to see my family. But when I did it, I got so nauseous, I thought I was going to throw up. I was so filled with dread. And I said, well, in the dream, you were wearing a red dress. And I described the dress. And she went, oh, I just bought that dress, Kristena. It's hanging in my closet. I bought it for the trip. So the entire session was, how do we handle this information? Does she trust me as a shamanic practitioner, as a counselor, as her therapist, as a dreamer? What if she does trust me? How is she going to handle the information? Because she has free will. She can say, that has nothing to do with me. That's your stuff. I'm going to do what I want. But what she did is in the session, we checked in. Well, you had dread making the appointment. We broke down the incidents. We broke down the narrative points. My family wants me to come visit. I booked the flight. I paid for the flight. I think the flight's non-refundable, so that was a big deal. But she had dread making it and felt ill. I mean, really ill. She said, this doesn't happen to me. And she had bought the red dress. And it was really the red dress was the nail in the coffin. Excuse the metaphor. So she canceled her flight. Now, in esoteric traditions, in mystery wisdom traditions, and within shamanism, when you get a gift from the spiritual worlds, you always give thanks and you give gratitude because you have just been given a new lease on your life. Perhaps she would have died, right? We don't know because she didn't go on the flight. And when I said to her, Karen, let's do a gratitude ritual. Let's do something here together to say thank you. And she said, oh, no, I don't need to do that. I'm thinking, oh, no. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But we have free will. So she didn't feel that the spiritual worlds or the gift of me having the dream was anything to thank the world for. So these are pictures of how different people handle this kind of gift from the spiritual world. It's wonderful that she normalized it, like, oh, the world's taking care of me. On the other hand, you were the spiritual worlds who she didn't get the dream, I got the dream. So you see all the working that had to be gone on as a warning to say, hey, wake up to this. I would say gratitude would be the natural thing to do, to say thank you, thank you, thank you. So it's just information to reflect on how would you handle it? And perhaps you've had a dream, what in typically our psychological terms we call nightmares that wake us up. Also, the protocol, if you're a therapist, so the protocol is you ask permission, can I share the dream? And you share the dream. And in sharing the dream, I did not add any, oh, got me. Oh no. This is like, oh, I didn't do that. I was neutral. And I think it's very important if we share information to stay neutral because the client or the friend or the other person needs the freedom to respond without our projection into them. So she went on and had her life, but I did a gratitude ritual because the spiritual worlds were working with me to give her that warning. And I was grateful. I was so grateful. So it's just wonderful when you watch what unfolds around us and how the storyboard of our life is unfolding with our clients or friends and the trajectory, the narrative arc of our stories. If you like this content, please subscribe. We're trying to do these every week for you. And tell me, have you had a dream or an experience of a loved one? I would love to hear it. So thanks so much. I'll see you next week. Don't forget, let's get creative.